Hello and welcome to Crystal Hall number 3 here in Baku, Azerbaijan.
Minus 87, who's a heavyweight. Now he's obviously dropped down because Mohamed Cho is going to be the heavyweight for Great Britain tomorrow. And so, you know, there is also that element that he's had to lose a lot of weight, and it's difficult to drop weight as opposed to those who have to gain weight to fight.
When you have to shift 10 kilos to try and get to your peak performance, you know, it's not an easy ask, and it would be too difficult to guess what's inside the mind of another fighter. But obviously we shift on to the man that bested him, Milad Harchegani. He's looking fresh, and you know, good match here because it is the victors, as you said. Cook is gone, Mohamed is gone, and these are the men that get rid of them.
Here we go. And I'll tell you what, both of these fighters are going into this fight thinking, you know, there's a lot of points at stake for Rio 2016, and a win here is going to put them in the final, and it'll be a silver or a gold. It is an absolutely major opportunity for both Ferreira and Harchegani. And of course, Harchegani has also just seen his compatriot, the Azeri fighter, get through to the final as is over. And, you know, they're flying a little bit at the moment. Azerbaijan, this is a home tournament. It happened to the Great Britain at London 2012. It's happening a little bit to Azerbaijan here. Yep,
fully agree. You pick the tournament, you focus on it, and they've peaked at the moment. But who's going to be the main man in this contest here? Ferreira was excellent against Cook. He's going to have to be even better against Milad Harchegani because the Azeri, by way of Iran, has all the experience you could ask for, and he's also fully confident.
Well, Harchegani has scored 29 points in 2 bouts, so there's no doubt that he knows every way of scoring and some more, and you know, he's going to be on the attack here. He must be full of confidence.
He's got to be calm and composed. Good refereeing there. Nice to see the Kyungo for holding on the inside. Fairness observed, but Ferreira almost taking a couple of kicks to the head here. And Harchegani, he looks bang up for this one. Nice wee flick to the face there from Ferreira. Doesn't score.
Our referee is Jónar Isarsson of Iceland. We've seen this a few times from Yaziri fight, you know, from some of the fighters, trying that little crescent kick. He's in the clinch. Julio hasn't been called. Tries to get a little sneaky head kick in from around the side.
Yep, and he did manage that incredibly against Latila Mohamed. I've never seen a more flexible shot, but it's all about this match here. That in that open stance again, and this is suiting the Azeri with the longer limbs, just pushing back Ferreira, and he's very, very relaxed here. And that is the key when you're competing. People think, are they aggressive? Are they tough? Well, you looked at Arman Yeraman from Armenia. He was aggressive, but couldn't get anywhere near him. You've got to be calm and cool. Aggression is assumed.
Ferreira is certainly very, very wary of his opponent. There's no doubt when they're in the clinch, you can see his eyes are all over the place. He's looking to see where the kicks are coming from. And you can just see here that, you know, he's not looking to counter-attack. He's just looking to avoid at the moment.
Good push kick there from Ferreira. Power punch dropped in from Harchegani, and it does score. He steps in. It's an excellent shot there. The judges obviously responding quickly to that one.
The crowd loving that. The flags, the kids here having a great time.
So nice.
Absolutely loving it. The flags are being unfurled already, and it's just a single point to Azerbaijan. That was so close to scoring as well for Azerbaijan. You can see bottom left corner, nearly went 2-0. And Ferreira already, body language, very important. Look at him, he shakes his head.
Yep, he's obviously just feeling the pressure a little bit here. You've got to remember, it's a massive environment to be in. And Ferreira hasn't managed to really be an attacking force. Harchegani with the punch.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, the Portuguese team have had an excellent competition so far, so they know what it's like to be involved in these matches. But for me, definitely Ferreira, after the win against Cook, where he's expended a lot of energy, emotional and physical, he's going to have to lift himself here because Harchegani looking very comfortable.
It certainly is. As you say, Portugal won a gold on day 1 in the minus 58 kilogram men's category with Gansa. And, of course, Portugal, it's fascinating, John. You said to me before that Portugal don't really have a solid national setup. A lot of athletes are self-funded. They pay for their own flights around the world, and You know, it's incredible to see these athletes here still competing with athletes who have got a full backing, such as the Azeris, and of course Great Britain as well, and some of the other countries who have full backing from their national associations.
Absolutely, you need that finance to give yourself the opportunity. Money doesn't buy you ability, but it buys you experience. You can get on the plane and go and compete. And the Braganza in particular doing it his own way. Yeah. But Ferreira still in this one here. And I'm pleased with the Kyungo that the referee gave early on, because it's giving pause for thought for Harchegani. Fairness first in Taekwondo. And it's good to see that it's not hometown decisions, as can happen in any sport, but this one has been above board the entire competition. If you've won, you've deserved it.
Harchegani, who's been scoring points galore in his 2 bouts so far, just seems to be a little bit more subdued. I think, you know, he's obviously watched the fight that Ferreira had against Cook.
There's the push kick though, that's going to help.
Absolutely, the crowd are well behind that one, because the push kick, just a simple kick like that, but it was hard enough to score a point, and a Kyungo will put another point on the board for Azerbaijan, and the 3-point lead is always significant, isn't it, John?
Absolutely. The Portuguese athlete now, Ferreira, is going to have to try and go for a head kick and get some spinning momentum, but Harchegani, he'll be happy with the cushion that he's got, and it's an ever plumper cushion as he goes forward again with that push kick. Thinks about the chop kick to the head. He got it up high enough, but he didn't get it down quick enough.
That wasn't far at all. But at the moment, Ferreira can't even buy a point at the moment, and another attempted head kick. That was the move we saw on the Taylor there.
Yeah, reminiscent of the adapted kick. It was a crescent kick that was brought into a front kick. But on this occasion, just firing over the top of the head.
Another push kick, almost scores another point. He's just short of the threshold. And this is quite comfortable for him, isn't he? He's well in his comfort zone, and Ferreira looks a little bit lost.
It's a difficult one for Ferreira at the moment, because he knows he's walking into shots on the way through. That punch making the difference. Whether there was a lot of power behind that or not is debatable. That would be the first one for me that you think, well, that didn't really score.
No.
But the judges have put it on the board, and Harchegani is good value for that lead. And if we think about Ferreira for a minute, because what does he do? He's got to try and do something slightly different, and every time he does that, he's going to leave himself open. And we know that Harchegani, as you've said, Adrian, is in second gear at the moment. He's just taking it cool. Absolutely. As soon as Ferreira opens up, it could be fireworks here.
And the trouble is that he knows that Harchegani can score at will. We've seen him against Taylor. When Taylor's come into attack, there's been a bit of bish bash bosh, and suddenly Harchegani walks away with 3 points in his belt, because and this is the trouble that Ferreira's got, isn't it? He's looking like a defeated man. He's obviously not happy with that punch. You know, he thought he put a good punch in himself. Then he sees his opponent put in what looked like a weaker punch to us, but scored.
Of course, and you've got to remember that they are human beings, and if you feel hard done by, it can cause you to go into a bit of a negative mindset. However, there's no reward for that. You've got to fight your way onto the scoreboard, and Ferreira, the emphasis and impetus is on him to try and do something. And he goes for a little judo throw on the inside there. Excellent referee, and very impressed with that one. Saw that.
Good call. We've seen those sometimes given the other way, but that was the perfect call from our referee.
And it's a good shot there from the Portuguese Ferreira. He sneaks that little twisting kick into the body.
That will do his confidence the world of good.
Punch of his own though, not to the reaction of the judges.
It was a perfect
Kupremai, you go first. And there's a flicking. Well, that's what happens. We say you've got to attack, we say you've got to be active, you need to do something. And what happens when you try and do it? You get kicked in the face.
Oh, we have a technical stop here, because it looks like the receiver unit.
Yeah, it's just been unplugged there.
Oh, yeah, it's actually just popped out. There you go. Maybe they should put a lock on those things, a little screw.
Well, that's actually, believe it or not, that has been in favour of Ferreira, because if that's not picking up the shots, then it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
And maybe that's been spotted by the Azeri coach, Mohamed Reza.
No, he's letting that go. And maybe he's not allowed, actually, because it wasn't a face kick. They're very precise with the rules. And that would have been a waste of a card. He's keeping it in his pocket and doing it wisely. Again, just on the threshold, just under the threshold for Azerbaijan. Could have been 5-1.
But in the third here, Harchegani looking resolute and composed. He's just, again, blocking and covering in defence mode. Tries for the chop kick. Likewise, returned there from Ferreira. There's a flick to the face this time, and I think this time we will see a card if it's needed.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Or have the judges decide. Yep, the judges are going to talk about it.
Well, one of the judges has seen the face hit, and now the question is, they have to get agreement with the other judges as a consensus. Sometimes, if that doesn't happen, then the coach will come in with a card. It's as simple as that.
We saw a little slow motion of it there. Here comes the flick across the face. Oh, you can decide at home if you think it did, but the key decision.
Now, the Azeri coach, you see from his reaction, yeah, it's not being given, and I don't think he's going to play a card. Oh, he is? Right, okay, well, there you go. With 1 minute to go, you might as well.
What he actually did there was he looked to his own fighter and said, do you think I should play it?
Right.
So the fighter's going to make the decision. The judges, or the corner judges, have had a chance to talk about it. And highly experienced coach in Mohamed Reza, he looks to his own athlete and said, do you think you kicked to the face? Yeah. Let's have a look for ourselves here.
Let's have a little look at this.
Fires it across, and it doesn't look as if it's hit the face there.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, if at the end of the day, what scores, it could be the slightest of touches.
Sure.
So he knows he was really, really, really close.
Yeah.
And with a minute to go in the third, it's actually worthwhile trying, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely
worth a try.
Yeah, it's worth a throw out here. And also, this might sound a little bit fanciful, but the fighter knows if they have touched or not.
Rejected.
Yeah, but it has been rejected. But sometimes, if you hit off the lapel of the body protector, it feels like the face. So at that speed, understandable throw of the card. Immaterial. The card is gone, but it's 5-1 now to the Azeri, Harchegani.
And he's looking comfortable. He's starting to open up on his opponent here now. The crowd are loving this. He doesn't have another bout until later on this evening, so there's plenty of chance to rest, and he can do a little bit of showboat. Ferreira looks like he's a bit defeated, doesn't he? Ferreira's the man that's got to get something back. A point to Portugal there.
Yep, good refereeing. I've been impressed so far with the referee. Excellent work. Kyung goes when they should be given. Nice side step there. There was a spinning movement from Ferreira, but Harchegani just moved into the distance and stepped around him, and that is, for me, what's going to separate the two as we reach into the last 20.
23 seconds on the clock. That card from the Azerbaijani coach was certainly worth a try. And a spinning kick, but a touch on the floor, and Ferreira looks like a man defeated, doesn't he?
He's absolutely gutted. He's given it his all, but the better man well in the lead.
He's tried everything, but there's a 4-point difference here. He'll try kick after kick. Oh, what an attempt from the Azeri fighter. Harchegani trying attempt after attempt, and Ferreira looks as if he's actually given up on this. He's absolutely burnt out, and the Azeri fighter, well, he can just step out of court. Well, what a way. You've not only defeated your opponent, you've absolutely demoralised him. And Ferreira ends up on the floor. Well, he can be proud. He's going to have a bronze medal match later on. Azerbaijan have a second fighter in the finals tonight. We've got two finals, and both of them are going to contain Azerbaijani fighters. The class act, this lad, 24 years old, and defeated and demoralised. He has to pick himself up. The coach is giving him a bit of a roasting as well, which doesn't really help. There you go, the score. Milad Beigi Harchegani wins by 6 points to 2 and progresses through to the final.
Yep, and Harchegani, he's the man in the final. It was Ferreira on the floor. He just gave it everything, but in the end was just a little bit short of quality. And we could see that there was more gears to come there from Beigi Harchegani. The acclaim of the crowd. He's ready for this one. But of course, Ferreira will live to fight another day.